I am here with the weeds behind me to give you my origin story. Lots of people have asked, why do I like football? How did I get into football? And they want a little background story. So I am going to provide a little bit of background story and kind of put all the pieces together when you're watching my videos that kind of lets you know all the reasons why I'm here and all the reasons why I love doing what I'm doing. Hopefully I'll be able to answer some of your questions that you didn't even know that you needed to know, or provide some type of something so that you understand a little bit more about me as we head into this new football season. The first thing I want to say at the very beginning of this is I have an education video that I posted a long time ago detailing my background, my education, all my different degrees and things like that. If you're interested in watching that video, I will tag it here so that you can see my background, so that you can see my education. The entire video will be linked so that you can click it and find out all the information. The short version of my education is I do have a bachelor's degree, I do have a master's degree, and I do have a PhD. That is at a basic level my background history. I have a degree in psychology, I have a degree in organizational management, and have a degree in adult community and professional education, I think is what it is. So there are those 3 degrees. I'm just popping in here to say, hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Why are you watching content and you're not subscribed to my channel? Do me a solid, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I will disappear from your screen and I will let you get into your video. The second thing is, why do I like football? Why football? Why have I done this? What led me to football? How did I become a fan? All of those different things. The background story of this is a little bit vast, but the short version is this. My dad, my entire family, everyone I really know grew up and they all love sports. We all watch some level of sports, whether it was watching baseball. I still love to watch baseball, by the way, watching basketball, watching all the different things. We all loved those things. What I loved the most about football was it was different for me. I played volleyball, I played basketball, I was able to play certain things. I was never able to play football. Back in my day, when I grew up, I wasn't able to play football. And so because I couldn't play it, and because they didn't allow girls to participate in that, obviously me being stubborn, because I'm a Gemini and that's what I do, I was fascinated with football. And so I started figuring out the things I liked about football and why I liked the sport. And I honestly was trying to build a case of why I should be able to play football. Obviously, I never played football, but my love for the game never changed. Then insert me like watching the TV screen, watching the blue team play against the yellow team, blue team being the Dallas Cowboys, yellow team being the Steelers. I was very fascinated with football as a whole in the game, and I saw how excited other people got when it came to football. So if other people are going to get excited, I can't even play this game. It seems to be something that only men can do. Sign me up, I'm interested, because that is that stubborn in me, that educator in me, that thing in me that says, oh, this is the thing you think I can't do. Let me learn about it and figure out some things about it. So that began my passion for football. And so that's kind of where it started. That's why I got into football, is because I couldn't do it. I couldn't play it. And then I happened to see some things on TV that I really liked. And so I got intrigued. And the older I got to see my first player ever that I can remember, because there's been a lot of them by now. I've got to see my first player ever that was my favorite player in college football, in Casey Hampton, play a position that was hard. It was physical. I felt like he didn't really get a lot of accolades, but he kind of did, if that makes sense. Like when you're watching a guy like Casey Hampton play football, you don't really know what he's bringing to the table if you don't understand football. And so for me, I understood football really from Casey Hampton, how he played the game, what he looked like, his size. And I learned then that football players were different sizes, different shapes, and all those things. So I learned football through watching Casey Hampton and through just watching things happen. And then I got to see Casey Hampton go from the Texas Longhorns, hook 'em by the way, and then I saw him go to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh already being my NFL team, it was the first player that I got to see from college transition into going into the NFL. And so that is what really had me hooked, was being able to see him do that, go from one of my favorite teams to another one of my favorite teams, and then be very successful in Pittsburgh. And then obviously we all know about Pittsburgh's run. And I think what really helped me honestly stay connected to football was watching all the guys that I liked be good at football and be on good football teams. Texas was a really good football team at the time. We're coming back, right? Well, we were back for about 12 years. But anyways, Texas being a good football team, and then obviously the Steelers being a very good football team. I have actually, as a football fan, I've gotten to see my team go to Super Bowls, go to the national championship game and win them. And then I've also gotten to see them go to the national championship game and lose, and then go to the Super Bowl and lose. So I have been on the highs and lows of fandom for as long as I've honestly been a sports fan. And so I think that that is cool too, because it also gives me another perspective as a sports fan, that I don't get so bogged down or worried about things, in my opinion, that don't really matter, because I feel like the season is so long and there's so many things that has to go right. And I feel like I'm the kind of sports fan that really focuses on all the nuances as opposed to focusing on the big picture every time. I don't care about the quarterback. I mean, I want the quarterback to get good, be good, don't get me wrong. And I don't focus on like, is this guy a 5-star? Is this guy a 4-star? Is this guy, like, I don't focus on that. I focus on the game as a whole. I focus on the team structure as a whole. I think teams win and lose because of nuances, and the nuances of football is what I have picked up on, probably because I've never played it. So I don't really like watching film. I don't love doing that, but I love talking about the nuances of football. That is what you see on my channel, are those nuances. And the nuances led me to creating my patterns of football. So I will plug my patterns of football something or another right here. Sorry, as the wind starts to pick up.
A few moments later.
But my Patterns of Football series is something that I released this off season, and it really details how I look at football. It is a 10-part series, and it really gives you a background on how I look at football, how I absorb football, the things that I pay attention to when it comes to football. And if I'm honest, that Patterns of Football series is actually my brainchild. That is actually my educational brain. So you will see my educational brain come out in that video that will be mirrored with my football brain coming together, and all the research and all the things that I did to create that series, all of it is working together. So that is how all of this kind of comes out with my YouTube channel. And so a lot of people say to me, why football? Why did you get interested in this? How did you become interested in this? What keeps you interested? I feel like every single thing I've done up to this point leads me to football. I'm competitive. I like things that are complicated. I'm stubborn. I like things I can't do. I love education. I love putting things together. And so I feel like football does all of those different things for me. And so then it leads to, why did I create a YouTube channel? I created a YouTube channel because I think my channel is different in a way where I'm not necessarily talking about X's and O's all the time. I'm talking about all the other things of football. I'm talking about all the other things you can see. Do X's and O's matter? Absolutely. But there's a lot of other things that matter as well. For example, a turnover is not an X's and O's. Managing the clock is not X's and O's. Making sure that you play the right person at the right time, that's not X's and O's. There's so many nuances to football that I feel like people don't often talk about. And honestly, I feel like some people watch football and they're so black and white, and it's either this or it's either that. You're either the best or you're not. You're either this or you're the, and it's like, win games, our record is saying this, it can't be this. I don't subscribe to that. The way that I view football is different. It's more dynamic. And so that's what I want to create on my channel, a space that is more dynamic, that is not just this or that. That is not just, it has to be this or it has to be that. The one thing I will tell you with 100% certainty is my football fandom is based in being objective and being able to understand a multitude of things. I don't live in a black and white world. I think a lot of people that know me personally, I frustrate them because I don't live in a black and white world. Sometimes I think the answer might be yes, but if the circumstances fit, it also might be no, or it might be a combination of yes and no. I honestly feel like if more people lived in the gray when it came to sports, I think sports conversations would go further. I think too many people live in a black and white world when it comes to sports, and I think it messes up how we perceive things. I'll give you an example. Some people will say Arch Manning can't be that great because he couldn't beat out a 7th round Quinn Ewers. But at the same time, you will have people tell you that the NFL does wonky things and the NFL does things that not a lot of people understand. And so if that is true, if the NFL does things that a lot of people don't understand, then Quinn Ewers going in the 7th round, if I said second, that was wrong. If that is true, then Quinn Ewers going in the 7th round, then how can your response be so black and white? A lot of people will also say, in college football, you either are or you aren't. You either are really good or you're not really good. I don't believe that to be true, because how do we determine if a team is really good? By if they win games? Because I think we all can agree that sometimes in games, the best team doesn't always win. So if the best team doesn't always win, and if there's nuances that are at play, then there's not that many definites. I can have a better team than somebody and still lose. I think that happens in all sports, not just football. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think we spend so much time trying to be right in a way that we don't pay attention to the nuances. We don't look in the gray. For a lot of people, it's either you win because you're good or you lose because you're not good. And I don't think it's that. I don't think it happens that easy. I think weather plays a factor, turnovers plays a factor, field possession plays a factor. Who was hurt plays a factor. The coach's play calling plays a factor. Can you manage a clock? All of those different things are happening within a football game, and I don't think we talk about them enough. I feel like a multitude of things can be true, and if you're kind of looking at this like a pie, then I feel like that is what football is to me. And so that is why I started my channel. That is my educational background, my football background, all of those different things. So I just wanted to put them here so that you'll have those. So if you have any other questions about this, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in my next video.